Hi, I'm Alex, and this is my story. I want to tell you guys a ghost story. It's not a kind of ghost story that that gets passed down from generation to generation, or even something you see on Goosebumps or on TV. This is a real life ghost story. This happened to me just last summer. The story takes place. I was driving down to LA with four of my closest friends, and we decided that we want to take a pit stop and camp out in the woods up above the Santa Cruz. So we get there and we're all excited. We made it just before the camp closed down. It's about dusk, and the ranger told us, "Well, you guys are just in time because we're about to shut down the place. So, make sure you run in, get set up before it gets dark." So we did, and we started bringing stuff in, and all of a sudden this car just drives down and starts flashing its brights at us, and we don't really understand why. We weren't in the middle of the road, and we weren't doing anything wrong. And the car drives up to us and rolls down the window and says, "You guys better get out of here. It's haunted. We're taking off." And so we, kind of looked at each other and didn't really know what to do. And we didn't really have any other options, so we just kind of got set up and tried to forget about it. So we got the tent set up and started a little fire and got some firewood and cracked up some beers. And before long, this old guy, who was the only other camper in the whole side, he walked over to us and was kind of waving his metal detector back and forth. Walked up to us and said, "Hey, you guys, keep an eye out for ghosts. Come here every Friday looking for them." Like, what? Why did we choose this place? This is awful. Like, why are we here? And so that was two very frightening occurrences within about 5 minutes of being in this campground. And we thought maybe we made a horrible mistake, but we didn't have any other options once again, so we just decided that we would stick it out. After all, there were five of us, and what's the worst that could happen? A little ghost would spook us or something. So we kept on and started making some hot dogs. We were all hungry, a bunch of guys, and so we made the first round, and they were delicious. We just scarfed them down. We decided, okay, let's go for round two. So we made a whole bunch of them. We decided we make an extra one just in case somebody else got hungry later on. And after we finished the second round of hot dogs and we're working through more beer, one of my friends said, "Hey, you guys, why is this hot dog just like have one bite out of it and someone just put it back? Like, who would do that? You don't just take a bite out of a hot dog and place it back. You either eat the whole thing or you don't." And we all kind of looked at each other and said, "Okay, well, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. I mean, who could it be?" And that's when things started getting really weird. Started seeing the shadows on the trees dancing around, the wind kind of moving through the trees, and every time someone would go to the bathroom, I swear to God, I heard a ghost coming back. Little footsteps on the gravel. Oh, it was a pretty frightening experience. But we made it through the night, or so it seemed. Everything was fine. It was time to go to bed. Put out the fire, stashed the marshmallows, did all that, and we climbed in our tent, and we're all lying there, kind of all cozied up in a little 5-person tent. And I was starting my best to fall asleep. Sleeping on gravel isn't the most comfortable thing. And so I started falling asleep and doing my best to do that, and then all of a sudden I heard these fingernails against the side of the tent. And I laid there, hoping it would just stop, hoping it wasn't a ghost, hoping they would just leave us alone. And then the zipper, zip, 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 zip. I was like, I could not believe it. I mean, this is like out of a movie. This is horrible. And so I lied there for a few more minutes, hoping that it would go away. They kept hearing the zipping going back and forth, and then it would stop. And then there would be some more ruffling, some more slapping against the side, and then more zipping. And it got even more frantic over time. Then I heard some grunting. And I thought, wait, that's not a ghost. That's Matt. That's my buddy Matt. I mean, I looked over and turns out Matt had mistaken the window for the door. So the whole thing blew over, and fell fast asleep, and woke up the next morning. Found that the campsite was all in one piece. There were no problems there, and then it was about time to leave. So the group of us walked over to the bathroom, and we did our things, and I was the last one in there, and I was brushing my teeth while everyone was back down at the campsite. And while I was brushing, I heard the birds chirping. It was a beautiful morning, and then I started hearing some whistling, and I knew that everybody was gone and that we were the only people on the campsite. And I thought, well, it's a little weird. So I went back and just kind of scurried back to the campsite, and we got back in the car and took off, and the ranger he waved at us as we were leaving. This kind of this sick smile on his face, as if he knew something. And I couldn't help but think that he knew there were ghosts in that park. And I'm pretty sure that old man found the ghost with his little metal detecting machine. Yeah.
Woo! Yay!